Welcome back, everybody. Snute is down 0-2. He's got one chance left 3 times in a row. He's going to have to win 3 games in a row, Moonblade, if he wants to have a chance of advancing.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Next map is going to be on Echo. Not a bad map for Snute. But he's got to survive this early game, man. Last game, he really fell apart there. It was a 2-base timing attack with Hellion Marine from INnoVation, and Snute just lost too much. He lost all his queens. He lost all the production that came with that. And from there, it was much harder for him to try and bounce back into the game. He's got to play a little bit safer, maybe just better positioning. Try not to lose those queens, man.
Yeah.
He's got to get that Bane speed out a little bit earlier, too, because that's probably the biggest killer of all. When he had to fight the army that came after it, he just had no Bane speed, and that was never going to be a good fight. His
lair is always so late. He doesn't have Baneling speed. He doesn't have Overseers. You know, it's a big problem.
Yeah, that is a huge problem. Maybe he's forgetting it. He certainly forgot it in Game 1. Game 2, he was kind of put back so far. He had to make those queens before he made a lair. So it makes sense, but just can't let it happen.
All right, guys. It's Snute's last chance here on Echo. Can he keep his tournament life alive, or is INnoVation going to take a 3-0 victory going to the round of 16? In the top left, it's SKT's INnoVation. Crickets on this map that you told me about once always get me.
Yeah, man, they get to you. Down here in the bottom right, we do have the foreign challenger, Snute. Has to win this game, and then the next 2, if he wants to make it out of challenger.
Yeah, tough time so far. You know, I was looking up some of his stats. He's on a 6-match, like 6 best-of-3 winning streak versus Terran right now, but all of those matches were against non-Korean Terrans. And
it's a big difference.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you're talking about like top 3 Terran in the world INnoVation here.
Yeah, he certainly has his own style as well, which maybe Snute isn't used to. INnoVation is a much greedier sort of Terran, or he tries to be. And even throwing out the mech, I'm pretty sure is kind of unexpected for Snute. You know, no doubt Snute's played against mech a lot in the past, but INnoVation does seem the kind of player to go for a lot more of a bio style in Game 1.
Yeah. No Vans here in the audience.
Came to cheer for Snute, no doubt.
Oh, for sure. Well, we do see Snute checks very carefully here with his drone, which means he is going to go for a hatch first. And actually, it's going to be a CC first for INnoVation, so this is going to be great for him. He can actually delay this.
Yeah, just a little bit of harassment here. Going to help out a lot.
So annoying. He's going to have to bring another SCV down.
Great placement for that SCV there.
Yeah, got really lucky. They're actually going to need a 3rd SCV eventually as well, with the regen on that drone. Actually, just going to push it back with 2. Very scary if you leave only 2. There's a 3rd SCV. If you leave only 2, then you can just switch targets and he's going to regen, and SCVs do not.
Yeah, that's usually the way it goes. So he's going to hang around for a little while longer, see everything that happens, but he knows the build. We saw this from INnoVation in Game 1.
Yeah. And he's going to be able to get away with a double hatch 4 pool with this scout, which is really cool. And I'll put him into a really good spot here. So
yeah, that's fantastic, actually.
I think this is the best opening we've had from Snute so far this series.
Yeah, this is looking good. It's good to see Snute play a little bit more greedy this time around, mix it up, not go for that pool first, instead take advantage of INnoVation's greed. But it's going to be about, the name of the game is going to be Snute trying to stabilize in 3 bases and avoid taking any damage. Because, you know, when Hellions start to come out, we are going to see maybe a 2-base Hellion Marine play again. We can start pressuring the front. Snute's going to have that Baneling nest out. He's going to have the creep spread out, and his queens have to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see INnoVation just verify this here. Checks the 3rd base. And do you think we'll see a commitment to Cloak as quickly as we're seeing it in the previous series this time from him?
I think that's a good chance because the lair will be a lot slower as well. You know, Overseers won't be out anytime soon, especially compared to last game. I think we will see that Hellion Banshee for sure there. Maybe timing before that with Marines today. Let's see how many Marines he makes and what his tech choices after the factory.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he has been very heavy on the Banshees. Last game especially, once he killed those queens, he just kept making them.
Yeah.
Because they kept getting value.
Oh, they were just so valuable last game. It's because that lair was so late that he knows he can invest in them, and they will guarantee do damage.
Yeah. Like, in fact, I think he even saw the lair start, so he knew just how late it was. It wasn't like he saw it and he was like, well, it could have finished at any time. He knew that it was going to take a long time to finish. Killed all those queens. We're going to see the same kind of Overlord scouting pattern here from Snute. He's going to check the second gas. And this time backs away very quickly. He's not going to lose it to Marines this time. And sees that there is a second gas. Oh, actually, did he see that at the natural? I don't think he did see the second gas at the natural base.
No, he did not.
Oh, that's unfortunate. A good little tricky move that you can do as a Terran. Especially, you know, if he's been studying Snute's play. That's definitely a good way to hide your gas. He has no idea.
Yeah, it's actually very cheeky. I like it. Maybe Snute at this rate will be thinking a third CC is going down because it is possibly one gas. He's like, okay, he's going Hellion into third CC and taking it slower. Though there should be a second gas anytime soon.
Ooh, I think he's checking it though at the natural now.
He's gonna see it very shortly, and he sees it now. So.
Okay, so now he knows. You can click on it as well, see how much gas his mind knows it's up for a while.
But we are actually seeing another 2-base from INnoVation. He's not throwing down that early third CC, so he's going to follow it up with maybe another timing. Maybe we will see the same as last game, but no use of that factory. That's going to be focusing on the Hellion Banshee, that Viking, so maybe even Met.
Good control here on these Hellions, but the Queens might actually eliminate one. He targets the one at the back. Doesn't target.
Unfortunate there. Focusing hard on droning up, you know, natural main, fully droned up, third base on the way.
Yep, third base for INnoVation is obviously a bit later than we would like it to be. I think he denied the scout on that as well. Actually, can you check that for me?
He did.
No, so that's really important. So at this point, he sends his Hellions back to damaged ones to repair them. He's continuing to build that Hellion count, continuing to build the Banshees up. And we'll eliminate these Overlords. Snoot going to just stack this Overlord knowing it's going to die. Just wants to confirm anything else he can find, any other information.
Yeah, the more you can stop them from scouting your mech play, the scarier it is. Because Zergs have to identify if you're going bio or mech very early on. Because it's completely different sort of compositions you need. It really sets up changes the pace of the game as well. You want to get your fourth base earlier. You have a lot more freedom to spread creep. Everything changes.
Yeah.
So Snute has to find this out.
Double armory. Very, very difficult to scout the position as well. It's way back in there, so even with an Overseer, it's not going to be easy. The lair is very early on this game, though. Insanely careful how he's playing this lair. 6 Overlords on the way, though. Maybe he's making quite a bit of those.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a supply block too long there. Rage building some Overlords.
Yeah, we've all seen that before.
Yeah.
Holding that V key too long.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be Roaches to follow it up, so he is making the correct choice when it comes to tech. He's got a fair idea that it is mech. Scouting those gases at the natural as well, I believe.
I mean, this is a really good response. Ooh, these Hellions need to be careful when that cooling tower dies. Some of them might get stuck.
Oh, just gets out.
Barely.
Get pushed out.
Banshee gets taken out as well because of the Overseers. You know, he has them out early enough to defend them. And Snoot's in a great position. He's got the composition he needs. He's getting his upgrades early. He's got a great drone count. He's had these 3 bases for such a long time. His creep spread's now finally starting to come along after he cleans up those Banshees.
Yeah, he's in a fantastic place. He's really read it correctly. He's making the right units. Could be even looking for a Roach timing when that speed finishes up. Currently, the army of INnoVation is quite weak against that kind of composition. Only Hellions and a Banshee. We do see tanks are on the way now, though. It really depends on how many he can get out.
So much energy on those Queens. Engaging that with the Hellions is not going to happen. Too many transfuses. So the creep spread does continue, and getting it up onto that high ground is important because it gives you vision. And then you can, of course, continue to push it further down a little bit easier. One Ling will force these Hellions back to defend the third, but Roach is continuing to be produced here. Roach speed finishes. +1's going to finish. He's got the armor not too far behind. And, you know, these Roaches can start to pressure a little bit and actually bully the Hellions. Perhaps even actually force an SCV pull at the third base because those siege tanks are not in position.
Yeah, well, there's only 2 tanks as well, so if they get on top of them, you will be able to get DPS them down, but there's a lot of Hellbats in the way.
Looks like he's thinking about committing.
Yeah, I think he should as well. That's a lot of Roaches getting in to melee range of these tanks.
Absolutely, he's starting to knock them down one by one. The third siege tank is not in siege mode. It's forced to land a Viking here, and this siege tank is actually going to fall. 3 siege tanks of Viking and many, many Hellbats, actually. A second Viking goes down as well, And he's even got 4 roaches over here. Might be able to escape and do a little bit more damage at the third until the Banshee wipes them out.
Yeah, let's see if there's going to be a follow-up. A lot of more roaches on the way, so maybe Snute going to be looking for more. If he had a steady stream across the map, maybe he could have some momentum behind this and do some economic damage. But as it is, INnoVation just really didn't take anything beyond a few tank losses.
Keeps the tank count low, but yeah, like you said, because there's no follow-up, by the time he attacks again, there will be more tanks, so it ends up being kind of an even sort of trade, but Snute maintains a supply lead. He's got a 4th base now. He's got the ability to make a hive. He's got the infestation pit completed. Then a healthy roach count to help hold on to this 4th base. Even in upgrades currently. Does have +2 on the way, going to eliminate these Hellions. I think that was a good trade for him.
It was a good trade. Keep that army down. If there was a tech switch as well, it could have been stronger. You know, a lot of Vikings out already there, so Muta switch may not have been the best choice. That looks like Snute's going to be simply going into that hive, going to those Vipers. He does have that base up with that 4th base. They're pretty solid in the middle of the map now. And I love this creep spread.
It's 88 drones. It's so many. So many drones to mine from right now. He's not going to face an attack anytime soon, so he can absolutely afford to keep this much supply in drones.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the drones you'd ever need. Making any more at this point,
Oh, nice
so much here. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that.
Look at it. 4 Evo chambers to wall these Hellions. You can just cancel them. 4 drones go down, but kills all those Hellions.
That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. That was really good crisis management.
You know, that's usually how Terrans kind of get their way back into this or even get ahead, is with these constant Hellion run-bys. Once they have Blue Flame, once they have these upgrades, they do so much damage.
Good cancels on those tumors. Constantly active tumors coming down. Currently 8 active at one time. Banshee is actually doing so much work to help zone these units out. He needs to always have that overseer nearby. Because if he doesn't, he can even kill Hydra through that. Now he's going to finally take it out. 8 kills on that Banshee. Finally falls. And he takes control of the high ground here. He's going to take out the barracks, which means no more factories until he replaces that.
Yeah.
I don't think INnoVation but
cares too much anymore. He just has enough factories to last in the game, but it's a spotter as well, which is important for these tanks. Snute might want to try and look for this 4th base. It is up and running. It does have a tank there as well as upgraded to a planetary.
6 drones go down to this little Blue Flame Hellion run by, but he does kind of get zoned out here pretty nicely. Good control again by Snute to actually help lock these down. 1 Hellion always escapes though. And
Queen should be able to clear that up. It's only on 10 HP now.
Yeah, and it'll be fine. It does go down. But yeah, I mean, you think this is the time to attack this planetary, try to break it?
I think there isn't really enough defense there. So I think if Snute realized this and sent his whole army there with the Blinding Cloud, he could just kill it before anything can come to defend it. It looks like he's kind of fiending to, he's looking to fight the main army.
Well,
it's pretty spread out.
It's tough to engage against these siege tanks down the ramp. But if he grabs a Viking here or there outside of siege tank range, that would be really nice. That's what we kind of saw him do in game 1. He was constantly trying to pick units off, pick SCVs off, never taking a straight-up engagement if he could help it. I think this window of time to attack the 4th base is kind of past at this point. Can't really get in there. He's going to come over here, but there's a planetary and siege tanks to help defend. He's going to get a turret or 2. That's okay, but definitely not going to be able to get much more than that.
Yeah, it's hard to really do anything at this point as well with that sensor tower. He can essentially see everything in the middle of the map. And it looks like Snute looking to go from multiple angles here. He's got a short window to do it, which is a planetary upgrading around those tanks.
Yeah, he decides to back off instead. Does have a 5th base up now. Hellion's going to try to wipe these queens out. And more reinforcements come to save them, so he does keep those alive. A big Hellion run by meanwhile. Tons of spines, and the Hydras are in position. INnoVation struggling to find damage here. Man, a huge bank in minerals already for Snute.
Yeah, he's got that healthy bank again. Both of them are kind of near in supply and essentially have the same amount of bases. We do see a fifth with Snute, but it is just not mining currently.
Yeah, INnoVation is lacking in the gas bank. Not actually able to max as quick as he'd like to. Is adding those starports now, has the 3-3 on the way. I don't believe he got a fusion core yet, but probably will be planning on adding that as early as possible to build up early battlecruiser count.
Yeah, that is 4 Stargates he's making. 4 additional Stargates. So certainly will be going for that that Sky Terran once again with a lot of battle cruisers.
That was the big issue that Snute could not deal with in that game. Even when he pulled the BCs into his Hydras there at the end, he didn't even have enough Hydras. He never used his Neural Parasite, which is very difficult to actually use.
Oh, losing the Vipers for one tank that has not gone down yet.
Oh, and he doesn't pull them away. He's going to lose more than that.
Oh, losing every single Viper.
Oh, man.
Fungal,
but
though.
he maybe perhaps wanted to bait the Fungal chain here. Is it worth it? It's hard to say with 4 starports, but he's going to eliminate these.
Yeah, he's going to get about 7 Vikings for it.
It's like a consolation prize, but I don't think it's worth it.
No, Viper's more important at this point.
Yeah, with the ability to make 4 at a time, perhaps even 8.
Almost. The Snute's unit is going to be the next choice here as well.
And he did get the Flying Locust upgrade earlier. We didn't talk about it, but he has it.
Let's see what he can get done. It's not many, it's not much anti-air or AoE except for these tanks, and if they jump on top of the tanks, obviously they're going to go down pretty quickly. 23
tanks, only 7 Vikings. 2 BCs on the way. 3-3 nearly completed, which is going to give him an insane amount of firepower on all of his mech units. And the Hydras, you know, they only have +2, I believe. The melee upgrade is on the way for Ultras for a transition to later game, and also burrowed movement for the Roaches.
Yeah,
it's really unique.
Only 13 Hydras as well, so when this battlecruiser number gets up to probably like 5+, it's going to be a huge problem with the anti-air as well.
All right, well, Swarmos, let's see how they actually play out in this game. 8 of them on the map, so tons of Locusts can be produced. Suddenly maybe snipe a base or just jump onto those siege tanks, which is going to be ideal, especially with planetaries and repair. Like you can kill a Nexus, for example, in the other matchups, but not going to be able to kill a planetary with repairs. Weapon refit, halfway done for those battle cruisers. They're going to have a lot of extra firepower, a lot faster this game than we had in the previous game. He is actually going to try to kill this base, though.
Well, let's see what he can do.
A few turrets here are going to make this pretty tough.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to kill the planetary. There's a lot of tanks here as well. And now, we do see INnoVation has realized that it is actually Swarm Hosts on the map. He's already really making the perfect unit composition for that, which is battlecruisers. They're going to become useless, essentially. Granted, battlecruisers don't do AoE damage, so it's going to have a hard time cleaning up the Locusts. But I guess if you just ignore the Swarm Host and go for the kill, you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, the Locusts can't fire in the air. They can only swoop down to the ground.
They should be able to fire in the air.
I was just thinking that. How cool would it be if they actually could?
That'd be legit, man.
That'd be pretty rad, actually.
I'd buy that game.
Well, it could happen. DK watching, no doubt. Just saying.
Just saying.
Good idea.
Well, do you see 8 almost now? Looks like he's not investing too much into it. And look at this, Blinding Cloud's going down on the right side of the map.
Yeah, it doesn't have too many Hydras here to finish off those units, and the tanks at the back are actually doing a lot of work. When you have this many Vipers, it's okay to just do this, though, and grab a few siege tanks as long as you escape with your Vipers this time. But the Hydras cannot get that far forward.
Ooh, yeah.
Neural Parasite again. Let's see if it actually comes into play this game. The Swarmos haven't really launched another wave. Looks like they're looking to do it right now.
Looks like it might be at that base again, the 4th. Ooh, a little close there. Looking for those turrets.
There's so many turrets here that many of the Locusts die before they can even swoop.
Yeah, the natural counter to Swarmos are the turrets now.
Yeah. INnoVation does not look phased by this at all.
No.
He's already beat Snute in a game like this.
Snute never had a bank like this when they played last time there in the map 1. And he's got a big remax available. But it's about trying to find that perfect engagement. And this map is being cut in half, essentially. Or at least 5 bases have been sealed off through a lot of decent SimCity and tanks.
Yeah. Well, I think the idea for INnoVation here is just max on BCs as best as he can.
I think it's a great choice.
I mean, he's got a good tank count. And even if he loses a few of those, I think replacing the supply with BCs is the right choice. We're going to see another swoop attempt here. Blinding Cloud's on the turrets. And he is grabbing a few siege tanks here with his Ultras. But the turrets form a natural barrier for this planetary. Should be able to get it with Hydra DPS, though. And some good Fungals going down the right side.
It's going to be expensive, though. Those Ultras are going to go down.
He's not even getting it. Planetaries isn't going to survive. He drops Mules.
And Ultra got blocked by the missile turret, so it never actually did damage to it.
Fungals, or rather, excuse me, Neural Parasite attempt here. Not strong enough. Only one went off there, and Queens is starting to get picked off. He's getting a few more siege tanks. He's remaxing with 12 Hydras and 3 Ultras currently. Oh, big grab here. A lot of transfuses going down on those Spore Crawlers.
Certainly a few Spore Crawlers though, because they're not really doing that much damage to these BCs.
Yeah. He's got a lot of Queens here. Locust actually going to come in again, but there's so many Thors as well to help knock them out of the sky.
Yeah, Thors are fantastic against this. And it looks like we're going to see Snute have to give up this base, regroup, and think of a new army composition. It looks like it's going to be a bit more Ultralisk heavy this time around.
It starts to feel like he's playing this like we saw, you know, himself and Stefano and other Zerg players in Europe play ZBZ when they had to pull Brewlords into Spore Crawlers, you know? Just trying to pull those BCs into Hydras and Spores as best as you can, but
yeah,
there's so much armor on a BC. Spores don't do bonus damage to that. They do bonus damage to Bio.
Yeah.
Oh no, moving a bit too far forward here with these Slamos. Okay, pulls them back. This could actually take out a base.
Maybe.
Good fungal here to follow up actually on those
fungal.
Vikings.
Good damage, not much repair. Gonna get a base for it, but if you can get out alive without taking too many losses, is
so far so good.
Thing. He's actually gonna try and fight this. I don't know.
Swarmos, the rather Locust fighting a little bit there as well. Good target on that Ultralisk with the Yamato. Big money fungals on these units. They need to go home for a repair of many of those Vikings.
Yeah, they're all in the red at this point. One more fungal. Should be able to kill a lot of them. INnoVation just simply going to go for another base behind this, and Snute's going to have a trouble trying to engage.
Snute remaking a lot of infestors, 7 more on the way right now. And his mineral bank is actually where he's hurting the most. He does have gas bank, but minerals, he's low on that. Again, just trying to outmaneuver INnoVation's slow army here. These BCs were alone, but he's not confident enough to engage them because he knows the reinforcements are not too far away.
That army is just unstoppable. Yeah, Snute has invested so much in remaxing. His bank is essentially dried up, and the bank of INnoVation is actually growing at this point.
Yep. This base, though, should be able to burst it down with a ton of Hydrolist damage and the Ultralisk as well to help clean up those SCVs. Let's see how many SCVs end up falling here. Then the question is, will he get caught with that army? Not really. He's going to kill some Vikings.
Yeah, really out of position there. I think INnoVation too busy focusing on that base on the right to really deal with this army.
Keep in mind that he's been doing all of these attacks with Ultras just on +2 attack. The +3 has only just now been started, which can eat at some of his bank. Okay, maybe some Neurals here. Drops a few infested Terrans. Yamato's going down on Hydras. The Hydras try to burst these tanks down. The ground army is dealt with.
Tanks behind are going to do so much damage to these Hydras. They're all gone at this point. This could be it.
He just suicides into them. No Neurals. A few infested Terrans. That one BC on 6 health.
It was looking like a fantastic engagement until those 4 tanks at the back got sieged up, and the clump of Hydras just got annihilated.
Yeah, and I don't think Snute realizes that the bank of INnoVation is as high as it is.
Yeah, he's so far ahead at this point, up 75 supply. Looking to deal with another base.
Yeah, even fungal growths are not enough to finish off this Terran army. Most of it at least half at health. Some of those tanks at full health currently. And the BCs at the back aren't even necessary to push this army back. Once they get repaired, they're going to come in here and do some more Yamato cannons. This game is over. GG. INnoVation will advance 3-0 over the Foreign Hope Snute. And he, along with Sunming, are out. You're going to have a full Korean tournament in the round of 16.
Yeah, good effort by Snute. Very unfortunate. And Terran Mech these days is such a hard matchup to deal with as a Zerg player. The late game answers are a lot difficult to find in a lot of cases. And that kind of map, if it gets split up, you're not going to be able to find a way in because it is a narrow map. It has a lot of chokes, and SimCities on that map throwing down a decent position with your planetaries and turrets. No way you're going to find a way in.
Yeah. I have to say Snute did do a great run today. It was a nice attempt. He looks pretty strong, to be honest. I was pretty impressed with how well he played today. And I'd love to see him do well again. I know he's going to IEM coming up very soon, so we're hoping to do well there as well. And it's going to be a good experience for him because right before IEM, which is just next weekend, he's going to be in Korea training with some of the best players in the world on SBENU, so definitely could help him out quite a bit.
Definitely.
Well, guys, we're going to take a 10-minute break before we go to our last best of 5 of the night, Life versus Alive, coming up after this.